We're live.
Oh,
No, we're live. It's round 3 of the International Sim Racing League Super Formula Championship, Season 4, and numbers seem to keep dwindling here. Because now we've got 8.
so yeah, we're just waiting on Petri and that way, so I reckon he'll be
Yeah,
coming in a minute.
Hope Petri joins to try and defend his championship lead that he has.
Should be an interesting one, and if he comes in, is he able to retain it? Now speaking of
Roots is here. Yes.
speaking of him, I'll be back in a second, fella.
Okay. Just give me a second. There we go. Right, so yeah, here we are. Dragon Trail Seaside, one of the original tracks to the game. Actually, it is one of the tracks that was on their launch. It's one of the new original tracks that were designed for this game, and the conditions look absolutely horrible because it's just a lot of cloud cover. Right, so yeah, and unfortunately we still don't have Raiden and Hubie to go racing against each other because as Hubie's now back from his hiatus at Spa when he wasn't there, Raiden isn't here, so we'll just have to see how it goes then. But the championship battle, I was going to say the championship battle between these two rages on, but neither Hubie nor Raiden were actually the championship leader. It's actually Ruti who managed to take the championship lead after the last race. So I mean, he couldn't believe it himself. It was his first race win, and what a race win that was for him. Hubie does set the fastest time at the moment in the practice, Wittmann just in behind. There's a new name on the block, and that is Mr. Younglights himself. He is, well, he's a new blow up kid on the block basically. He's making his first ISRL race, and he hasn't actually played Gran Turismo for very long, so we can't expect big things from him, I suppose.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, you know, as long as he doesn't keep pinging people.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting, yeah, like we say, to get on. I mean, it's a, would you say this is a challenging track to do for your first race in a first league race, or would you?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because you know, these cars have a tendency to run real close, as you know.
Yeah.
And with the overtake button, going through depth chicane too wide, yeah, I reckon we could end up seeing someone go too wide for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I think the extra track layout, obviously, aside from depth chicane, I think I would say it's a very it's a relatively beginner-friendly track. To be honest, it's not one that's the most. Of all the tracks on the game, I wouldn't say this is the most difficult. I mean, it's not the easiest because you know Route X exists, but I wouldn't say this is the most challenging track he could have gone on to in his first race. No, he drives in a Formula 1 league that on F1, and he's pretty quick in that. He's fighting for the championship in that, so we'll see how he gets about his business in this race. This track does have a tendency, actually, and it has done so in ISRL, to cause a bit of a pile-up. The first chicane on the first lap has caused chaos in previous iterations of races around here. In Group 3 it happened in both Season 1 and Season 3. There was a massive accident on the first lap at the first chicane, so I wouldn't say it's entirely out of the question. But here he is then, championship leader Ruti 74, the Finn. We'll see how he gets on in Dragon Trail. I will see if Hubie's able to continue his 100% win rate that he has.
well, we'll soon find out. But a question for Petri: is can anyone stop him now?
I think we need to stop at some point. I think we need to
I'm
stop.
not stopping. I am
Okay then.
being a punny person. Okay, I ain't coming up with the puns. Unless you decide to mute me, then no, I don't know.
If we had to place some predictions then on probably the most infamous part of the track, Death Chicane, who do you reckon is going to hit Death Chicane the most? We had to say a prediction. Who do you say of all the drivers there is going to hit it the most?
Foxy.
Foxy?
Foxy, because we don't know if he's, plastered or not, so he's probably going to be one person to hit it. But maybe Bugs, anyone could do it, to be fair, even Hubie, maybe Pittman. Anyone can hit that chicane if you get it wrong. So
yeah. I feel not that it's to say anything against the lad, but I feel Young Lights could be a victim to it quite a lot. But that I think would more be just a lack of experience on the game or on this track. I mean, he's a very brave person. I mean, his first league race here, and he's chosen to jump into Super Formula cars.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it going into the Group 4 cars.
Group 4 I think would have been a bit more. Yeah, I mean my first ever league race with them was Group 3, but that's because when I first joined it was the only one.
No, right, no. Oh, so when you joined it was just Group 3?
It was, yeah, because I was there from the very beginning. Season 1, race 1, Group 3. It just started out as a Group 3 league, and here we are 10 seasons later at Group 3, and we've now got Super Formula, Group 3, Group 4, we've had Group 2, we've had the randomness of Group R, we've had one mix, multi-class. It's fair to say it's expanded a bit. And we're now...
So ISRL is definitely grown.
And in the ISRL Discord, we are now over 200 people. We're a force of over 200. We'll put Foxy down as raiding sub then. So I'll just let him know of the situation. He is indeed subbing Raiden. About just under 10 minutes till the start qualifying, and then we find out who gets pole and who is the bravest of people to try and set as fast a lap as they can. Just find a bit of practice for the drivers, then just getting used to the different tyres and how they feel, and getting a feel for the strategy. We have 21 laps around here, and then I believe after this, next week, let's just have a look at where we are next week.
And I don't think you will appreciate MJ's messages in the chat.
What do you mean? I haven't seen it. Not MJ's messages aren't popping up in the chat.
This is boring, apparently.
That's because nothing's happened.
Just typical MJ, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore MJ. Yes. So next is Saint-Croix. That is the next track for this Group 3.
Saint-Croix. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting one. Obviously, I'll be on my own for that one.
Yes, you will, because I will not be there. So the stream for next week's race will be on Hunty the Punter. That's odd. It's coming through on YouTube, but it's not coming through on the screen, on the stream itself. The messages aren't appearing on there. That's an odd conundrum. Well, if that's going to be the case. Yeah, like the chat's not appearing on that.
You say hello, MJ, you say MJ
is boring. Rob, are you available for GT? I am not, because we've got tabletop racing, which I'll ask Craden if we've got permission to, if I have permission to stream that as well afterwards. Because I feel like...
I can stream it as well.
I feel like... Oh, you stream it then, so I'm not streaming two things literally one after the other. Yeah, as we were saying, the race next will be next week at Sonqua. It will be streamed on the Hunters channel, Hunter the Pontus. I will be unavailable to do it myself. That would mean Hunter's commentating on his own. Foxy's up in a second at the moment. Fastest I've seen is a 20.629 from Hubie. Vitman's managed to get a 20.9, so at the moment it is Hubie that's looking just a bit quicker than the rest of the field. But we'll see if that maintains.
Yeah, well, it seems to look like he's putting his way out. He's fastest lap of South Wales at 22.0.
Well, it's not too bad. No, he's not too far off the pace, I suppose, and he's very close in actually behind Foxy. I think one of the key things here will be to see how he fares himself in a race situation. It's all well and good doing the practice and just doing lap after lap on your own, but it's doing it. I mean, obviously that helps. You need to actually know the track you're driving on quickly, but it's all about how he handles himself in a race situation around here at Dragon Trail, especially with that first chicane. And he's actually up on his time by about 4 tenths. We'll see if he improves his position here. He could crack himself maybe onto the top 3.
Well, soon soon, because remember, if not here, when really it should be, Tony and Fernando, they did well in their bedroom, getting up well.
It is, yeah. We'll see what Young Lights can do as he crosses the line. It's P4 just in behind Ruti, but ahead of Fabuki and ahead of Foxy's thus. And Fabuki's been known pretty handy in these cars, so it's a decent person. I think one thing that'll be interesting for Young Lights is trying to find out who's quick and who's not so quick, because obviously he doesn't know anyone in this league, does he? So he's not really going to know who's going to be quicker and who's going to be less quicker. But I'm sure he'll be quickly figuring that out.
Well, yeah, definitely. If I was him, I'd just for this first race, I'll just figure where your pace is and who's essentially going to be battling it out in the championship with more than anyone. If I was him, I'd focus on that aspect.
Also, can we just point out that Buttocks has effectively been through 3 different teams in 3 different races? Because first he was on his own. Then he became Sonic Racing with Wright and Ladd, and now he's BMW with Young Lights. He's had 3 different teams in the first 3 races.
Well, that's Buttocks for you. You know how he loves to bounce around.
I know what you're trying to get at there. I know what you're subliminally calling him. I am aware. I've managed to figure it out. I've inferred what you are trying to say in a family-friendly manner.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that, yeah.
Anyway, so that gives us just 4 minutes before the stuck check and then the qualifying. M3 guy running around 7th at the moment, Foxy down to 6th place in an interesting car that is actually branded with Foxy on the side of it. It says Fox on the side of Foxy's car, so I think that was probably done on purpose. We'll see his bravery through the chicane. Oh, Raiden's joined. Oh, well, that works. Well, Raiden's here. Yes, we have a fight in our hands.
Oh, so Raiden is here. I thought he had work.
Well, he's joined us now, so I'll just ask if he's racing, and if he is, Raiden, Foxy will sub for one of the others that isn't showing up. And if he is racing, then we have a fight on our hands between Hubie and Raiden to fight for the championship.
Yeah, don't forget don't forget Petri. He's definitely
Petri, yeah. I mean, you could say he is a title contender because he's currently leading the championship. We'll see how long that lasts.
For me, he is definitely the wild card. For me, Petri. I think he's starting to get to grips with his cars to really contend for wins. So
yeah, Ruti, Petri's he is quick as he's shown. Foxhill sub for one of the other drivers then. We'll put him as M3 guy's teammate because that way he's got a teammate.
Well, Foxy M3 guy.
No, because if I put him as one of the drivers that hasn't got, you know, doesn't have one of the member of the team in the race, then anyway, so M3 guy and Foxy, they will be honorary teammates for this one. So that can help the team score points, because at the moment it's just M3 guy that's been scoring points for the team, because the team actually hasn't shown up. But as Raiden's in, everyone's ready to, it looks like everyone will be ready to go, and in a minute we shall do the stuck check and then the qualifying.
So I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting race then, with
Raiden in the mix as well as Hubie. It should be, yeah. It could be a pretty close affair.
And with Foxy in the mix as well.
Mm.
And so we know how quick Foxy can be. He can be quick.
We'll do our usual thing of we'll do our usual things. It's just a couple of corners. What do you think are the key corners to look out for in this race? Key overtaking spots around this track.
The key corners, obviously the death chicane, that is definitely one of the most key corners. You don't want to be going too wide in there, just in case contact and you're off. So
as Petri is demonstrating for us as he finds his way through the chicane.
More than Petri. But I think the most opportunity you could get corner-wise is the last corner. The first corner and I don't know what number 10 that corner is, but the one before the chicane, the left chicane, that corner.
Right, well, wait. Yeah.
Be tight.
Yeah, I know, at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, that one.
Botox has sent me a party invite.
And yeah, he sent me a party invite.
Oh, okay, then I know what he's doing. He's just start spamming and inviting us.
Oh, great.
Unless, of course, is yeah. So, a couple of those are your key corners to look out for. Where's Raiden at the moment? He's in the pits. He's coming out onto the track now. Well, just see what time Raiden can put with us to be able to. Just to see where he is on the pace. We'll wait for Vitman to come back. Yeah, I think he was just inviting everyone in the lobby to a party then. But we'll just wait till Vitman returns and then we'll go for the stock check.
So, here's a question for you then. Where do you think the majority of the overtakes will be taking place?
The majority of the overtakes? I gotta say that corner at the bottom of the hill. I'm gonna be honest, I do think that's gonna be a popular place. I feel like if you get the run out the S's, bit of overtake. Actually, now that I think about it, I also think into the first corner, the first chicane. So yeah, that could be a popular spot, actually. Because it's a longer straight in it, you can get in the slipstream, and it's a wide straight as well, this track. Especially when compared to the cars, because the cars are quite skinny themselves, but the track is really wide. You can get 2-3 cars alongside each other. So I mean, I've done it before. I've gone through wide up the benches. Raiden shows there how narrow the cars are. How narrow the cars are compared to the width of the track. It is pretty wide. So could see a lot of side-by-side action around this race. But it's whether the drivers will be brave enough. I think everyone's in and ready to go now. So stuck check and then 10-minute qualifying. And Emperor Botox has left the lobby. Will he be returning, or what's happened here then?
Could he be having issues again? You reckon?
I've just pinged him on Discord asking if he's going to be returning to see if he's. And if not, we will get the stuck check underway, because at the moment we're just waiting for a couple of people to wait for Botox to see if he comes back. Yeah, apologies for the lateness of the stream. The Group 3 ran over a fair bit.
Well, Group 3 was alright though. I enjoyed it.
Depends which perspective you're from. My race, it could have gone better. It could have gone a fair bit worse, but I think it could have gone better. Okay. Buttocks says he'll be coming back in about 5 minutes.
So it looks like we're going to have a bit of more of a delay then.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'll take you back in a sec.
So yeah, Buttocks should hopefully be coming back with us shortly, and then with that happens, we shall be good to go with the stuck check. Foxy's actually managed to get himself just ahead of Wittmann in there, as Ruti is trying to find his way, as he improves on his time, trying to get as close to the front runners as possible. Young Lights is getting by in his debut. I'm sure he's just eagerly waiting for the start of the race. He really wants to get it underway then. Them three guys getting by as well. Raiden not down. Oh, I mean, I was about to sit down in 5th. He's actually behind his teammate with that one though. So Ruti currently exactly 2 attempts quicker than his teammate Raiden. This is interesting news that we found here, but no one quite as quick as Hubie. But Ruti's not far away. Jim Lights finds his way down now at the back of the order, the slowest moment in the practice, but we'll see if he's able to. Does it really matter where you are in the practice? It matters where you are in the race. Most importantly, where you are at the end of the race. It's the end of the 21 laps that the position really matters, as that will obviously be, you know, your finishing position. So for Buki then is, well, he was a contender for the championship last season. He didn't manage to win it, but he took Raiden all the way to the very end before Raiden. And in fact, Ruti's gone the quickest of anyone at the moment in the practice. So Ruti is really looking on form. Hubie just in behind him, and Raiden. So the top 3 are very spicy, interesting looking top 3 at the front at the moment, with Ruti, Hubie and Raiden. Foxy in P4. 5th place at the moment sits Wittmann. 6th place for Buki. 7th being and Freaka and Young Lights down in 8th place, and we're still awaiting the return of Buttocks. But Young Lights, he's improving, and that's in the middle sector. What is he going to do in the final sector? He was about half a second up, quick enough to gain him a position. He looks to have adapted to the depth chicane pretty well. A lot better than I ever did. Bit across the gravel there on the inside as he powers it now out of the exit and onto the main straight. And across the line it's a 1:21.0, so he gets himself ahead of M3 guy and lifts himself off the back of the grid.
Excuse me. There's not even a second between all of them.
Oh yeah, there isn't. M3 guy's just winning a second. I don't think that's ever happened. Like ever in ISRL, there's been less than a second split in the entire grid. And you may notice that our Flying Finn is currently the fastest man on the track. Only just clear of Hubie and his teammate Raiden, so it's looking very interesting up at the front.
It will be interesting, isn't it?
It's just...
I think Raiden will be taken to him.
I think if it gets to 10 past, we'll just start and Buttocks can join in qualifying. Yeah, well, if it gets like to 10 past, we will just like start, because it's dragging on a bit already, as it is. And we kind of... I was just saying, Young Light seems to have gotten used to the depth chicane pretty well. I mean, So far, I haven't seen him hit it, which is always good news. Interesting question, has he mapped an overtake button? We're about to find that out when it gets to the races to see whether he has actually mapped an overtake button or not. We'll find that out by if he actually uses his overtake. Buttocks is back. We shall wait for Buttocks to ready up, then we get the stuck check going, then we get the qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, one name, who's going to get pole position? Hunter? Come on, answer the question. One name, who's going to get pole position?
I think it's down to Hubie or Petson. Well,
as Raiden goes quickest. Still not very far. 3 temps split in the top 4, of which Foxy's a part of. Just need Buttocks to ready up and we go. He's ready. Alright. Stuck check. Sure, they should know what's going on. Alright, so the stuck check is to begin. Just to make sure everyone is able to get off the grid okay. And we'll see the absolute bombardment that happens at turn 1.
Yeah, well, some say should be interesting.
Young Lights has asked in the Discord, how do you use DRS?
Well, if he's played this game for a while, he should know, to be honest.
To be honest, he hasn't really played it. He's had this game for a couple of weeks, if I'm being perfectly honest, so cut him a bit of slack. But anyway, away they go, and everyone looks to have moved away. Found a lot of wheel spin smoke as see Young Lights trying to take out his teammate. A lot of wheel spin smoke, but everyone's going away well, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. What was that then? What's that then? What? Did you see that? I just saw someone ping across the track. I didn't see who it was, but I did just see him ping across the track. Young Lights, by the way, is experiencing his first ever ISRL stuck check. Now, I wonder what he thinks of it. I'm curious to see what he thinks of the whole ordeal.
It's not a stuck check though, when you think about it, it's more of a punt check.
Right, now we're waiting on him to exit the race.
Yeah, some famous, oh my god. Someone's going on Instagram, someone famous is
Exit the race. Come on, Young Lights, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, hang on. He's ghosted.
What is he doing?
I don't know, but he's ghosted. Is he chatting? How do you enter? What? Right. 10-minute quality.
You are into. Oh.
Actually, I think they want me. Just bear with it. All right. Right. Let's just turn penalties off, and that will symbol the start of the 10-minute qualifying. Apparently, I think penalties are still broken.
Yeah, I got it. It's still broken.
So, 10-min qualify. Qualifying begins now. And Foxy looks to be the first one out onto the track. As far as tyres, Foxy's on the softs. Hoobie's gone out onto the medium tyres. Fubuki also on the mediums. Soft tyres on Wittmann's car. Mediums on Ruti's. Buttocks is on the softs. Raiden is on Young Lights is on the softs, and Raiden is also on the softs. And I think those on the medium tyres, so that's Fubuki, Hoobie, and we said Ruti. Yep. I feel like they'll probably pit in, maybe do a lap and then pit in, but I can't imagine them wanting to go for their true flying lap on medium tyres. You kind of want to go on the softs, and as you know, they are the fastest tyres to go with, and that's just more to start on the medium tyres. with
Yes.
Hubi following in behind.
Yeah, ISRL starting to come on now to start their fastest lap.
A bit of ISRL history for you. I think the very, very, very first penalty that was ever given out to a driver was given out at this track, Season 1, Race 2, final corner. And it was Luckman.
Oh, it was Luckman.
It was Luckman. Well, no, MJ was only joined in like Season 5, Season 6, Season 5. MJ's not been in it for that long. But yeah, no, it was Luckman because he hit me off at the final corner and carried on, so we got a penalty for it. And that was the very first penalty that was ever given out in ISRL. Well, IGTL as it was then, but there you go, you get the picture.
I get the picture. I took the picture and...
Yeah, Fox's lap at the moment, he's looking pretty tidy, which is obviously the first step to sending a quick lap. As the grass overgrows over the curb there, that's an issue with the track I suppose, but bouncing across the curb doesn't look to take the second curve, right up against the barrier there, right on the edge. I think that was flat out for that chicane as well, which they can do in these cars, just the immense amount of downforce that these cars give off. It's fairly possible for them to do it flat out, but round the final corner it sort of dips in the middle really, because it goes down and back up again with the elevation,
yeah,
but it rises up the hill and across the line. 20.3, that's the lap they're all going to have to chase, and it's lap they're all chasing. The next one is Vitamin G, who is coming around now into the final corner. We'll see what he does. Is it going to be enough to beat Fox's lap time? He's still on the track out the final corner, but we will see if it's enough to take provisional pole. Yes, it is. Root is the next to cross the line, although Root is on an outlap, so it'll be Buttocks, I believe, is next, as he comes around the final corner now then. So for Buki, currently having the fastest lap time with Raiden just in behind. What's Buttocks got? It's not quite enough, but in third at the moment. Raiden crosses the line and he takes provisional pole, but only just. And I believe it's Young Lights that's going to cross the line, his first qualifying lap in ISRL, and he sets the lap time at a 21.8. He managed to get ahead of his teammate for now as they start to file their way through now. So these were all the drivers that was on the medium tyres. The two pirates were near each other. Hubi sits a purple middle sector. So Hubi and Fubuki, the pirates, quite close to each other on the track, but they offering a bit of a slipstream. And would you say following a car is a hindrance or an advantage around here? I'd say.
Sorry?
Would you say following another car is a hindrance or an advantage around this track? As we watch the two pirates very close to each other at the moment.
It depends, because
Hubi crosses the line for pole, but Fubuki's one up to him, so I think that answers that question. The slipstream seems to help. Ruti's going to be next, the championship leader. He's going to be the next one to cross the line all on his own, but is he going to be enough to grab provisional pole? It's not, it is P6. Would that be a bit of an underwhelming lap given his pace in practice? We'll see now as we approach the halfway mark in qualifying. I believe everyone has now set their initial lap times as Buttocks comes round to improve, but it's not quite enough to elevate him off the back. So the initial lap time, see Fubuki only just ahead of Raiden, who's managed to get up into second, with Hubi very close in third, Vitman in fourth and not too far off, Foxy fifth, sixth place Ruti, seventh Young Lights, who's pitting onto a fresh set of softs, and three guy in eighth and in ninth place Emperor Buttocks, and they're all just under 2 seconds with each other as Buttocks gets right up behind Raiden. As Hubi then through the depth chicane manages to navigate that well, foot to the floor through there, they ain't backing off anything. Round now through the tunnel, out into the final corner as the light suddenly shines in your eyes as you're waiting for the braking zone. Across the curb on the braking, that's brave stuff, that can easily go wrong trying that. And across the curb accelerating round as well, and we'll see where he is across the final lap, and it's not a quicker lap time, so he's down on his laps. I wonder if a mistake was made there somewhere, and Fubuki comes into the pits. Vitman also in the pits.
Yeah, comes in.
Ruti is continuing on, but will it be enough for Ruti? I don't think it will. And it's not now, he's down. Buttocks is coming into the final corner, currently sat at the back, and we'll see if he's able to elevate himself off that back of the grid in P9 at the moment. It would still be points, but we'll see if it's possible for him to get off the back. And is it now? He's down on his time. So improvements as Raiden goes actually on provisional pole, but improvements aren't really being made for a lot of the drivers, but Raiden has set the fastest lap time now. So Fubuki on the front row trying to chase that down. Those two, they spent a lot of time on the front row last season with each other, Raiden and Fubuki, as they were fighting for the championship throughout the season. But we'll see if anyone can make a dent into the performance. He'll be currently sat in third. He obviously wasn't inspired in the one race he did win in the Nürburgring. He started on pole. Hubi did actually choose this track, so we'll see what will happen here.
Yeah, he chose this track, but he's not really getting himself up by anything, to be fair, compared to Fubuki and Raiden.
He is really pushing it on across the line. It's a 20.2, and there we go.
Never mind. It's 1.20.
They are inching ever closer to the 119s as Fubuki running a little bit out of the way. I think that was to get out of the way of Wittmann there, who's on an outlap. So it was Fubuki setting himself up to get back in behind and try and continue to get himself back on the front row. The top three is seemingly constantly changing, but looks to be steady between Hubi, Raiden and Fubuki, with Wittmann just knocking on the door.
Oh, Hubi is going painful again. So is he going to improve on his own lap?
We'll see what he can do as he comes through the S's now. It's a magnificent sight to see these things. I think that middle sector really tests the downforce of the car. Just constantly changing direction, braking down the hill into the hairpin. Opens up on exit, try and get on the power as soon as you can. As he's purple again, it's by a small margin, but he is purple. Through the depth chicane, foot to the floor, flat. And there we go. Bouncing across the curbs there as he comes round. Now hugs that outside wall, which disappears as you come out the tunnel. Hard on the brakes for the final corner. Roll it round. Got to accelerate at the right point. You don't want to lose any time not accelerating on this main straight. And here we go. And I think that was a pretty decent lap from Hubi. And it is indeed a 20.2 small margin. Where's Raiden? He's right up behind Foxy. What about Fubuki, who's not too far off Raiden? He's trying.
Fubuki's looking for the final corner now.
See if it's possible for Fubuki to find any improvements, or Wittmann. They're knocking on the door of the front row. Wittmann does improve to get into the top three, and Fubuki does not, so Wittmann manages to displace Fubuki and knock him out of the top three. And I believe now, as Foxy's going to finish a lap, can he get into the top four? Young Lights is up in a 6th place. He's managing to out-qualify the championship leader.
Yeah, he's doing alright, isn't he, Young Lights?
Foxy didn't improve, but now I think Raiden's on a flying lap. So I'm with the slipstream as well. They were saying in Spa about how much the slipstream is quite strong in these cars. You can gain a fair bit, so I wonder if that's the thinking for Raiden there, is to get in behind Foxy and follow him around the lap, trying to hold the slipstream. We'll see if he's purple on the exit of this corner, as Foxy went a little bit sideways. It's going to be tricky to see if he is up. And he's actually down, so he lost time from all of that. And I reckon this sector here, this part of the track, the sort of up and downhill S's, you will lose a lot of time in the dirty air as Foxy's going to be experiencing. And we've actually, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the time, but there's 5 seconds before the time is up. Hubi's not going to get another lap then. And qualifying is over.
So Wittmann's one's a little bit wide coming out of the final corner. Looks like he's... I don't think he's going to improve. Not quite.
Wittmann didn't, so Wittmann does not get another lap in. Raiden will get to finish this lap. Hubi will not, so this is it now. Raiden, has he done enough to grab pole on the very, very last lap? Out the final corner, is this going to be enough? He needs to find about 2 attempts to improve. Is he got it? He has not. He did not find enough pace. Foxy finishes his lap with that as well. Young Lights up the order, and that's all that. What's Fubuki saying?
I'll see him be right back.
Okay, well, we got a little bit of time now. The lull before between qualifying and the race as the drivers choose which tyres they wish to start the race on. As I think it's Young Lights, he's still going for a lap, or what's happening here? I mean, I wouldn't say he's still going a lap looking at the time he's taking, but there we go then. So the qualifying is over, and it is Hubi on pole position with Raiden on the front row, and I think Wittmann managed to get out ahead of... Wittmann's managed to finish qualify ahead of Fubuki. So Wittmann will be starting third, I believe, with Fubuki up at the front. But at the moment the order's just a bit skewy whilst the drivers choose the tyres they want to start on. And so it'll be interesting to see the strategy now, because obviously the race winning strategy in Spa was mediums to softs. Hubi's going to be starting on the mediums. It looks like Raiden on the mediums, Wittmann on the mediums, Ruti on the softs, Foxy on the... Actually no, Ruti might start on the medium tyres unless he's just come out the pits to change that. Foxy on the mediums, Young Lights on the softs, and 3 guy on the mediums, Buttocks on the mediums, and Fubuki on the mediums. Everybody ready?
What about Fubuki? Is he back yet?
Well, he's driving around the track, so I'd assume so.
Ah, he's back. Sweet.
We could be ready to get Season 4 race through here on the sunny coastline of... Well, it says sunny, it's massive cloud cover. The cloudy coastline of Croatia. Well, that's a nice alliteration, that. Let's go. Imagine the nerves if you're Young Lights right now. He's about to set on his first ISRL race. I mean, so was Tony and Fernando in Nürburgring. They did a pretty decent job there, but we'll see how he gets on here. The ISRL Super Formula Championship then, Season 4, Race 3. Ruti leads the championship, but will he hold it after this one? Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out.
Hubi pole position, Raiden second, Wittmann third, and Fubuki. That is your first 2 rows of the grid as they eagerly anticipate the start now. The lights come on. That's 3, 4, 5. And it's lights out and away we go. Who's got it away? Well, I think Raiden looked to get a decent start. Immediately tucking into the slipstream to get up behind Hubi. And now as they start to file in together as Raiden. And I think they're going 3 wide. There's Wittmann and Ruti and Fubuki going 3 wide. And Ruti's going very aggressive into turn 1. And he's made the move work. He's got it up into 3rd place across the curb on the exit. There's the all push round to the exit. But Ruti's managed to get up the order now as well. Rather aggressively, he's managed to do a great start up into P3 there and onto the top 3. Now he needs to assault onto the top 2 that are probably 2 of the quicker drivers in this league.
Oh, something's happened to Young Lights. He's down in the back of the field.
Very bad has happened to Young Lights. He's ended up a long way down now. And Buttocks, who's trying to get on the back from 3 guy. We saw these 2 racing hard in the last race, and it looks like that battle's going to resume here. But Fubuki up into 4th, trying to get around the outside of Ruti into the hairpin. That's not quite enough. Fubuki running a little bit wide. And in fact, that's Raiden trying to get past as well. And I think Raiden's got a head just before they get into the death chicane.
Oh, that was tight, coming in the chicane like that.
Oh, but I think Hubi's going to very much fight back, and I think Hubi's trying to find his way past here. And here we go, it's Raiden versus Hubi, side by side into the final corner. But Raiden, holding the inside line, stays ahead there.
Yeah, that was a very audacious move found by Raiden going into the death chicane.
Oh, but Wittmann, he's setting up a move on Fubuki on the main straight, then at the end onto the second lap, but he doesn't quite find his way through there. As Fubuki managing to hold out, and I think was that side by side between Hubi and Raiden getting ahead.
Hubi around the outside in the first corner. What a move! So
incredible stuff. Well, this is definitely not going to be as easy as his Nürburgring race, where he's just sort of disappeared and never looked back, because now Hubi's fighting for it, and Raiden's fighting for it.
Petri is under a lot of pressure now from Fubuki.
Petri, he's under pressure, but pressure can turn it can turn coal into diamonds, or it can turn diamonds into dust. What will it be today for Petri? As Fubuki trying to look around the outside, Raiden getting on the exit here, just trying to get side by side with Hubi there into the chicane. That's not quite enough. He wasn't quite close enough to do the same thing again. Foxy and M3 are dropping off a bit, and Emperor Buttocks and Young Lights at the back.
Oh, it's all kicking off here between...
Oh, Fubuki's getting very close, and I think Wittmann might be looking to try and get involved. And he has, but at the front, I think that is that Raiden trying to line their way past. As Fubuki sends it to the inside in the final corner. Who's going to get the better exit? Will it be Ruti or will it be Fubuki? Fubuki currently holds 3rd. And now, here comes Wittmann. Are we going to get a 3 wide moment here? Will it happen? Please go on. Oh. Whitman's shaping up a move around the outside and there's nearly contact.
Yeah, there was contact between Rit and Petrie. Fitch has got on the back of Petrie.
And look at Foxy, look how he's gained up now. It's a 4-car battle for third here. No one's giving anything up. And M3 guys catching up. Everyone's fighting for this third place now. And meanwhile, whilst all this is kicking off, Raiden's managed to get back ahead of Hubie. And they're immediately starting to pull out a 2-second gap together. Fabuki's managing to pull away from Ruti, and they're all running very wide.
I tell you what, you don't know where to look this race.
Nice. All kicking off, but Wittmann's going to the inside of Petrie, and Foxy's only going to try and follow him through there. And he spins!
Foxy spins!
Oh no, it's disastrous. He's lost it on the traction, and he's plummeted like a rock in the ocean. But now here comes Hubie to the inside of Raiden, and will this be enough for Hubie to get down the inside of Raiden, down the inside into the final corner? He makes his way through, but can Raiden fight back? Will he fight back? I think he's going to try into the chicane because neither of them want to give anyone any breathing space here, and Raiden does pull to the inside. And if Raiden wins this race, we'll have 3 different winners in the first 3 different races. Again.
Yeah, but what Raiden has to think, he has to, like last time at Spa, he doesn't
Young
want to
Lights.
be battling too much, otherwise that could give Fabuki the chance to...
Young Lights has managed to catch up and overtake his teammate now, so now he sets his sight on chasing down the rest of the pack. After something happened on the opening lap, I'm not too sure what it was for Young Lights, but something. As Hubie chasing through the S's on the back of Raiden, trying to get a bit closer. And yeah, like you mentioned, this is pretty much what happened at the start of the last race, where we had Raiden and Wittmann strapping for the entire first stint, and that just only opened up the opportunity for Ruti to get through and overtake them both. And could we see the same thing happen as for Buki closing in? With Wittmann has got Petrie behind him, and M3 guy up into 6th place. Young Lights trying to catch up now. Well, I mean, so far I haven't seen anyone clap the barrier or the death chicane. Doesn't mean it won't happen though, as Ruti's looking to set up a move on Wittmann G. And is this going to be done? I don't think he's quite close enough to get ahead. Meanwhile, the battle at the front sees Hubie getting ahead of Raiden, and they managed to get past. Well, my bet on the first chicane being a popular place to overtake is paying off, because they all seem to be having a go there. As Raiden trying to get ahead now of Hubie. Is this going to be enough? He's not quite close enough. We'll see if Raiden can fight his way. He's bit down the championship order. He's down in like 4th in the championship, so he's going to want to try and get this win to try and score some big points for him now. If Hubie wins, it will take him the championship leader on 50 points. But for Buki in 3rd, he's trying to catch up to the top 2 to get involved in the battle. And Wittmann has managed to get it. Wittmann was always ahead of Ruti. But Ruti's dropped a little bit of pace to Wittmann's. The race seems to be calming down, aside from these two at the top, who are not giving anyone any chance to break away, as Hubie is immediately under the pressure of Raiden as soon as Hubie gets ahead now.
Again, you've got to be careful, because they're always battling could result in either of them losing the place to Fabuki, because he's just waiting.
Yeah, and he is a bit closer actually to these two than Ruti was on Fabuki. And in fact, it says number 88 on Raiden's shark fin. Don't know if you've noticed this, but Raiden's got the wrong number on his shark fin. Like, it says 88 when he's number 29.
I think he must have got Petrie's reserve car by the looks of it.
Might have got Petra's car by the looks of things by accident. I don't know what he says on the front of the car, but he might have just neglected the number 88 on the shark fin. Because I know that's a mistake I'd have made. I changed it on the front. No, it does say 88 on the front. Raiden is actually running Petra's car for this one. It's running the 88 car. But anyway, that doesn't minor details, because Raiden is still trying to hunt down Ubi. He's all over the back, following him through the chicane, and now I think he's setting up the move on the exit. And look in the slipstream how quickly they gain. And if it's like this on most tracks, wait till we get to Blue Moon Bay when they're all going to be slipstreaming each other. For 43... Yeah, for 43 laps they're all going to be slipstreaming each other on that one. Here we go, Raiden still trying to get close enough.
There's a little battle going on at the back of the field. Buttocks is just being overtaken.
Oh, Buttocks versus Foxy. And Foxy's got in ahead of that one.
Yeah, he just got better moving on the final corner.
And here he comes though, Buttocks. He's not one to give that up, and he hasn't. He didn't look like he was going to try that, but then in the end thought better of it. Meanwhile, Fubuki has actually managed to gain in, and not just Fubuki, but Wittmann. We could have 4 different cars fighting for the win here. 4 different cars fighting for the win, possibly from 3 different manufacturers, and only one of them will have won a race so far this season. As Raiden trying to close into the back there, but he's not quite close enough yet to Ubi. Well, Fubuki's got under a second now of Raiden, his title rival from last season. It's just over a second as Fubuki gets the purple sector. Wittmann currently has the purple lap. Getting ever close. In fact, Fubuki half a second and still gaining on Raiden. He's getting very close now. And Raiden has just realised that history is repeating itself, because look how close in Fubuki is. And now the top 3 are within half a second.
Look at Fit as well. Fit is caught up to it now.
That's what I mean, a 4-car battle for the win. It looks like it quite possibly going to be happening, as here comes Raiden. Is he going to go try and get a pass? Ubi, he does try, but I think Fubuki's trying it. Almost 3 wide there. I think Fubuki almost thought about it, but Raiden does get ahead, and now Fubuki sets himself up. He can get past his teammate here. No team orders in this battle between Fubuki and Ubi. They are just going for it.
They really are going for it. Jeez.
And now with Wittmann in as well, we've got 4 cars all battling for it on lap 8 of this race, and any one of them could probably come up the winner at the end of it all. Well, when I was preparing to stream this, I'm not going to lie, this wasn't quite what I had in my head. This wasn't exactly what I was imagining, but I'm not complaining. I'm very much loving this. As Ubi getting a bit close, I think there's a bit of contact, and is that going to allow the opportunity from Fubuki? I think it does, and Fubuki powers his way through now. Are they going to be side by side into the death chicane? Ubi yields, and now Fubuki manages to try and get ahead. And Fubuki now sets up the attack on Raiden. Oh my god, they're all over each other. Oh my god, 4 wide. Oh, Fubuki's going to the inside. Wittmann's trying to get past. And Ubi, and Fubuki takes the lead, and now as Wittmann tries to get ahead of Ubi there. No one knows. Nobody knows what's going on here. What is going on? And now Raiden's going to try and get back past. And Ubi's getting very close. And I think Ubi's going to try and get around the outside. And Raiden gets around the outside. And now Fubuki on the grass, Fubuki on the grass, but he looks to control that, but he's going to get grass on his tyres. That's not going to help. Unbelievably close racing. Oh, I think Fubuki ran a bit wide, and now Wittmann's going to try and cause chaos into Team Chaos, and he's going to try it around the outside in the middle of the S's, but he doesn't quite do this. But this sort of battling here has allowed Raiden a bit of breathing space, and that's not going to be ideal for these 3, who I'm sure at one stage or another have had their eyes set on the race win. So we noticed their M3 guy did pit in, and in fact Rooty, he's slowly creeping his way in, as he did in the last one. What a race we are witnessing here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is absolutely mega, but...
Here's Fubuki trying to get a pass. Is he going to set it up? I don't think he does, not quite. Young Lights has managed to lose the position to his teammates somehow out of all this. I think a mistake on the previous lap. But here we go, a bit of inter-team battling between the BMWs. Young Lights pulls to the inside. And is he going to get down the inside of his teammate? Yes, he does. Well, meanwhile, we've got Ubi, Fubuki and Wittmann still squabbling, and that's the line. Raiden, a 2-second gap. And we know Raiden, he's not the type of person you should allow a 2-second gap to. But they start to spread themselves out a bit more now. Gap is starting to emerge between these 3 cars while battling, so I think that's a breathing moment for the lot of them, just to... I mean, they're not really letting off. They're not a million miles away, but they're not all on top of each other like they were a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, definitely. It's absolutely mega what's been going on so far. It's only lap 10.
Emperor Buttocks, Young Lights and M3 guy at the back though, is still fighting for it, so we give the debutant Young Lights a bit of screen time as he's flying through the S's now, not actually used his overtake button, whereas M3 Emperor Buttocks has used just over half as they go side by side. I think Young Lights has managed to hold the 7th place now as he holds his teammate and M3 guy. And M3 guy's going to get down the inside into the hairpin, does he? He tries to get down the inside of Emperor Buttocks without hitting Young Lights, and that's not quite enough there. And now Young Lights is going to try and fight back against... he's going to have to hold off his teammate there now. Through the chicane they go, and Fabuki and Hubi and Wittmann all make their first pit stop and off the medium tyres. Well, now it's Ruti and Raiden, the two queens, to continue leading. And now they're going a bit side by side as Buttocks tries to focus on defending against the 3 guy looked to set that one up, but he wasn't quite close enough for that one. And where do they all come out? Hubi comes out behind Foxy, Fabuki and Wittmann. Are they close enough to get ahead? No, they're not. So Wittmann gets ahead of this battle at the back here, which Emperor Buttocks is having to defend against M3 guy. And I think M3 guy's going to try and get around the outside. That's not quite enough. Very close indeed. There's battling all over the track.
Yeah, that's a battle's open up.
Now then, Hubi, 18 seconds to Raiden. Has that forced Raiden's hand to pit, even if he didn't want to on this lap, because he doesn't want to find himself vulnerable to the undercut. We'll check back at the end of the lap, but Young Light's still holding on against Buttocks.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, especially, you know, with strategy-wise. You want to try and get yourself on the undercut. So if I was Raiden, he needs to think about pitting in the next lap or so to avoid,
especially given the fact that Fabuki, Hubi and Wittmann have all pitted onto the softs and Raiden's in. Predictably, Raiden puts in. Now the question is, are those soft tyres that they're putting on? As Ruti continues on again, Foxy's going to win, Frosty says. Well, at least he's just... Well, we'll come back to that as Foxy bails into the pit lane now. So where's Raiden? Does Raiden come out? He does come out, and I think he comes out in the lead ahead of Hubi, does he? Yes, he does, and he comes out quite far. Ruti now leading the race. He's continuing on. Now the question is, are those soft tyres going to get to the end? As Foxy's in the pits, Buttocks is in the pits, and 3 guy and Young Lights continuing on. Anyway, nice to see you, Frosty. Nice, glad for you could join us in the stream chat. I don't know how long you've been watching, but hope you're enjoying the race.
A little frosted snowman.
I know. With Fabuki then and Wittmann very close on the track. We'll see if Wittmann's going to be able to get ahead of Fabuki. A purple sector from Wittmann. So the top, well, I was going to say the top 5, but Ruti hasn't quite pitted in yet. M3 guy and Fox. So it's just, I believe, M3 guy, Young Lights, and Ruti who hasn't pitted. I think Young Lights having to recover from a mistake. He's going very slowly at the moment. I don't quite know what's going on here.
Who's going slow, sorry?
Young Lights appears to be ghosted. We'll see what's going on with that later on then, but Raiden's managed to open up 3 seconds to Hubi, which will be crucial. Now does Ruti choose this lap to make the pit stop?
I don't know what's going on with Young Lights.
But Wittmann's trying to get down the inside of Fabuki, and he does get down the inside of Fabuki there into the final corner, and he's driven Fabuki off the track there actually, around the outside, and Young Lights has left the room, which would be a 5. He has left the room, which means he's...
I would think that would incur a penalty of some sort.
It does indeed. Would be £5 to be removed from his total, which he's got none, so that's going to put him on -5. Fabuki, it doesn't really help the team either because they're on 1 point collectively. Really does help the team. But Fabuki chasing it down Wittmann still. These guys are still continuing to scrap away, but Raiden's managed to open up 3.5 seconds to Hubi, and the gap is actually going up there. Hubi himself has opened up a gap to Wittmann and Fabuki. Ruti, are they able to get out ahead? Ruti is still going. Like I said though, the question, are Raiden, Hubi, Wittmann and Fabuki, are they going to be able to get a 1-stop with these soft tyres? I'm not sure if they will or not. So will we see them do a second stop? That would explain why Ruti's playing it long and going on possibly a 1-stop strategy, because we've got a fair few laps to go yet. So we will have to see how this race develops, but he's coming into the pits now as we say that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one as Raiden comes round now. So Raiden takes the lead, Hoobie back up into second, and I believe that'll put Fubuki and Vitman continuing to battle for third, and I believe it does as here comes Vitman shimming it up, but he should come out ahead of him, 3 guys to Ruti, but Vitman staying behind at the moment.
So will that give Pedro a chance to catch back up? He's on a fresher set of tails compared to far in front, so could he bring the gap down?
It's a good couple of laps he's got fresher as well.
Yeah,
I see, well, it's about lap 10 they pitted. So he's got a good few laps fresher tyres than the guys in front of him, so we'll see if he's able to try and bring that gap down. Obviously it's the same tyre that they're on as Fubuki, very dangerously low on his overtake anyway at the moment, unlike Vitman who's got just over half. So Fubuki, an aggressive use of his overtake in an attempt to try and catch up to the guys that were in front of him at the time, I could imagine was the case.
Yeah, I think Hubie's been playing it smart with the overtake button. It's only used the quarter of it, so that could benefit him at the end of the race when he really wants to push.
Yeah, I mean, he should. I mean, to be honest, if I was him, I'd be pushing constantly, but I mean, I don't race this league, so don't really take my word for anything. Foxy down in 7th with Buttocks now bringing up the rear of the car, rear of the grid. And so, with Vitman and Fubuki in 4th and 3rd, there's a bit of a gap starting to form up between the guys on the track at the moment. I think the close battle seems to be Foxy trying desperately to chase down M3 guy, and he's doing so at quite the rate here. He's doing so at quite a rate of knots, is Foxy versus M3 guy. Foxy is M3 guy's honorary teammate for today, so we'll see if he's able to get ahead. And in fact, Foxy says a purple sector. So Foxy clearly is looking pretty strong. He set a purple sector 1. He's really closing the gap. Now it's gone down by a second just on that. And Free Guy is on the medium tyres and will have to pit short because his fuel is very low. So I don't think M3 Guy filled up at his pit stop, so he might need to pit in on this lap as Foxy's coming through. It's not quite purple in the second sector, but he's getting a bit closer into the depth chicane. If he can get the exit, he might be able to get ahead of him here.
But I think Foxy will get ahead of him anyway, because
he's going to do it on track though, because he's coming down the inside into the final corner, and I think
it gets the job done though.
It does get it done, and I think M3 Guy just realised that he's going to be pitting in, and so I didn't really put up much of a fight, to be honest. I think M3 Guy, he likes to defend, and I feel like if he wanted to, he could have defended that a lot much more than he did, but knowing that he was just, going to come into the pits, it was probably the smart decision not to lose too much time. Raiden looking pretty strong at the moment, 5 seconds ahead of Hoobie. Fubuki in 3rd place with Vitman in 4th. This is good for the Pirates team because they're in 2nd and 3rd. The Queens are in 1st and 5th, sorry. And Stone Edge Motorsport yet again only had 1 car representative.
It's a good, yeah, but even if the Queens finish 1st and 5th, still a very good points haul for the team.
Which would be 35 points to them compared to, trying to do maths here, 20.
Hey, so that's a good idea to remember what happened the last time we tried to do maths.
33, I believe. 18 plus 15, is it 33?
Don't ask me, my maths is even worse than yours.
5. Yeah, it's 33. 33, but so actually, in this position, the Queens will score more points than anyone. They will outscore the Pirates by 2 points. And that's if it finishes like this, which Vitman could very easily change that. So it would be a good points haul for the Pirates. But obviously, I think Foxy seems to be on a bit of a charge, and so Rui's going to have to defend against that. And Ubi's trying everything in his power really to catch up to Raiden, but it doesn't really look to be going in his favour.
Yeah, the gap between Bit and Fubuki is only 6 tenths, so
And actually, it only gets better because I believe Ruti might still be leading the championship.
Oh,
I believe.
that's right, yeah, all be right
Because Ruti will move up onto 45 points. Raiden and Hubi, if they finish like this, will be on 43 each. Fabuki won't quite be there, and Vitman won't be there. I don't think he'll have closed in enough either. But let me just check what points they're on. But I do believe.
Counting down. Fabuki stands to field. I think Fabuki will start to be at Wedge mouth, please.
Hang on a minute. That gap has gone down quite a bit between the two teammates there, but let's just have a quick look. Points to it. I'm just going to try and work out some quick maths. So yeah, Ruti would move up if the race should finish like this, which, to be honest, it could very easily change. Ruti would move on to 45 points. Vateman, Raiden, sorry, and Hubi would move on to 43 each. For Bukia, an extra 15 points onto 33, 38, 48. Actually, no, for Buki would be the championship leader.
Yeah, so...
And Vitman had moved, what? He's on 39. So, the championship, I believe the top 5 in the championship should have finished like this. Would be Fabuki on 48, Ruti on 45, Hubi and Raiden on 43, and then Vitman on 39. That would be the top 5 in the championship should it finish like this. So, I mean, for Ruti to hold the championship lead, I mean, if Vitman overtakes Fabuki, that would possibly do it. It wouldn't. That would only put Fabuki at 1 point ahead. So, Ruti would lose the championship lead should it finish like this. But to be honest, I don't think he was really considering himself a contender for the championship this season. That's no offence to Ruti or anything, but he said it himself, and I think. I mean, we were saying the softs might not make the end. I think the tyre wear might need to go up slightly because the race is slowly ticking to an end and the tyres are not wearing out. I think the tyre wear needs changing slightly.
Yeah, I think these tyre manufacturers need to...
We need to change the regulation on the tyres again.
Yeah.
We changed them for this season and now they've become too durable. So we need to have a think about that. And also, just throwing ideas out into the open. Actually, we'll do that after the stream's ended. Never mind.
Yeah, do that after.
We're not going to give out confident. I mean, it may be only race 3, but you know, you've got to think ahead. And yes, I might already start thinking of ideas for season 5. But oh well. We're continuing on as Vitman's getting very close to the back, and his two cars are very close up at the end of the track, and that is M3 guy and Buttocks at the back of the field. Then fighting to not be lost. These two, is this going to be a recurring theme throughout the season, and seeing Buttocks and M3 guy fighting to not finish last? Well, we're about to find out. It looks like a way so far.
Oh, hang on. Vitman's got damage. I think he's messed up somewhere.
And Vitman has got damage.
I think he messed up in the chicane.
That is quite a likely scenario, as Raiden now moves 7 seconds ahead of Hubi, and Fabuki is 11 seconds off the race leader. But yeah, a bit of damage has massively cost Vitman. But it's just going to be another race where Vitman could have been on the podium, just missing out.
Yeah, because last time out in Spa, Vitman didn't shoot the net, see?
I know,
in the wall.
He did. It looks all well and good for a podium into the final lap before he spun on the curb at P1 and buried it in the barrier and allowed Fabuki to move up into the top 3. A costly area that could come back to haunt him in the championship. But speaking of the championship, it's looking very close at the front. No one's really starting to form an advantage. Like I was saying, Fabuki, who hasn't yet won a race, will become the championship leader. And even then, only 3 points behind. Only 3 points behind Fabuki would be Ruti. So, and then only a further 2 points would be Hubi and Raiden. So basically, 5 points would separate the top 5 in the championship.
Yeah, it looks like it, by the looks of it. As we see, nothing really happening at the minute. They're all pretty spread out.
Yep, there's Raiden. He's on the final lap now. It's just rounding around the final couple of corners into the final sector for the 21st and final time. And it would look to me like we are going to have a third different race winner in the first 3 races of this season. I think we had 6 different winners over 10 races last season, and we've already got 3 out of 3 different winners. No one's managed to become a repeat winner this season, as Raiden, it's taken him 3 races, but he wins this season.
I'll tell you what, he'll be very happy with that.
He'll be bringing it home into 2nd place then, and his 100% win streak officially ends. Every race he entered, he won until today. Fubuki with another 3rd place as Wittmann drives it onto 4th. So Fubuki then, the championship leader, without actually winning a race, because Fubuki's finished on the podium at all 3 events. He's the only driver to have done so.
Yeah, indeed. There's some good racing going on, some good battling.
But Ruti then, still ahead of his teammate in the championship, into 5th place.
Yeah, indeed.
Foxy across the line 6th, a pretty strong race from him. He did well, and then 3 guys managed to get ahead of Buttocks for 7th, and Buttocks has slapped the barrier just at the very end. He had one more journey through it to go, but he has crashed, and I caught that on stream. It took us till the very end of the race to catch one, but we did catch a live one, and it was Buttocks. But Buttocks will be happy with the fact that he was racing people in this one. But another victory under the belt for Raiden, but not this season, only his 1st win, and next season we head off to Songkhla.
Well, I'll tell you what, fella, I'll leave you to ask all the questions and we'll get off. So, excuse me. Bye everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Alright then. I will save the replay, screenshot the results, and invite in our 3 podium finishers. Oh, by Hunter. Yeah, Hunter's decided he's fully going to abandon me and let me do it myself this time. There it is then, Raiden, race winner yet again. Hubi 2nd, Fubuki 3rd, Wittmann 4th, 5th Rute, 6th Foxy, 7th and 3 guy, and Buttocks in last, with Young Lights quitting out, which will incur him a penalty, and Hubi with the fastest lap. As we hope to wait until we see some of our drivers joining into the league, into the pirate chat, just to ask them a couple of quick questions. Hello.
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 Evening. Hello.
Hunter's decided to abandon me.
Sad enough.
Hello. Hello. Right, so well done to the 3 of you on the podium again. What was the race like from you then, Raiden? What was your race like?
Yeah, it was alright. It was the first half was definitely more interesting than the second half. Yeah, me and Hubi are having kick wheel to wheel action. Yeah, I guess I got quite lucky when Fubs and Vic caught up, and then that little bit turned into a scramble. I could break away then, but the slipstream is just so strong. If you can get away with the people behind you, then you can just break away so easily. But yeah, it's alright.
Yeah. Hubi, what about you then?
Yeah, I had a pretty decent battle indeed with Raiden in the first half. Only like me and Fubs made a little mistake, which then made us lose the slipstream, and yeah, we never saw Raiden again, sadly.
Fubuki, what about you then? Yeah, we're going to say at one point it looked like there were 4 cars fighting for the win.
Yeah.
By my calculations, for Buki, you are the championship light leader despite not winning a race this season so far. So, as well as that, we've also had 3 different winners in the first 3 races, and I believe the top 4 in the championship are split by 5 points, because I've just tried to work it out, but for Buki you'll be on 48 points, Booty will be on 45, and Hubie and Raiden will both be on 43, and Vitman will be on 38. We'll be in 5th. But yeah, the top 4 will be split by 5 points to the next race. So it's getting tense.
Wow. Yeah.
Can't wait for Blue Moon Speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither.
Or
Nürburgring 24 hours. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, that's gonna be special, that race.
The ultimate title decider.
Oh. Are you still on a pad for Buki? I reckon you will, nice. I'll see. Oh, nice.
Anyway, speaking of the future, the next race is Saint-Quabi. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Not so nice.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Russia. Might need to wrap it up. I've got something to do. So, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed the race on the stream. Well done, and we'll see you next time. Although I won't, 'cause I won't be there. But thank you. Bye, stream.